On today's episode of Be Chic DIY, we're going to make this sparkling crystal AB anklet. Come along with me and see how I do it. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of DIY Be Chic. I'm Leilani and we are building our channel to show you guys how much fun it is to bead, along with some tips and tricks of how you can succeed in your beading journey. Today I have a build order over here. A customer has ordered one of our AB Clear, which AB stands for Aurora Borealis, AB Clear crystal anklets. And here is a snapshot or a list of all of the parts that we will be using. Feel free to pause, take a look, make a list for yourself so you can do this at home. Or you can come online and buy our ready-made kit and we'll ship it to you, and then you can watch this video and we can do it together. So what I have here is our 8mm crystal clear AB crystal rondelles. Okay, and so I'm going to just kind of bring it up to the camera so you can see. Do you see how that shine is? And I really hope the camera's picking this up, but there is a rainbow iridescent sparkle. So it's a coating that's on these crystal beads that gives it a very beautiful rainbow aurora borealis sparkle to it. And this is just so pretty, especially in the sun. And this is a super simple pattern. It just requires our 8mm crystal ABs and 3mm silver balls, and then of course the parts up here that we will be using to close the anklet. So to get started, we need string, and so not just any string. Here at Be Chic we like to use black nylon coated stainless steel string. Not only is it super strong, it will not break on you. The other thing is the black nylon actually coats the string from rusting. So a lot of people like to wear their anklets out in the water, to the beach and the swimming pool, or maybe just out and about and you've got, you know, body oils that get on it. This will ensure that it's not irritating the skin, it's not going to start rusting on you. And so the first thing we need to do is go ahead and pull out a length of string for us to bead on. And anyone who's been watching my previous videos, I don't cut off the string from the roll. I leave it on until I'm done beading, because that helps with waste. Because if you overestimate, then you can end up wasting. All right, and so this is really simple pattern. It's a 1-for-1 pattern. So you're going to take a 3mm bead and you are going to put a 8mm rondelle. And then again, you're going to put on a 3mm bead and another rondelle. And that's it. You just go back and forth. So at this point, I think it'll be a really good time to go ahead and do lightning speed. Ready and go. So we're reaching the end, guys, of the beading. And I'm putting on my last 8mm and then my last 3mm silver round, and this is the stringed up part. Now anklets are normally normal size anklets are anywhere from 9 to 10.5 inches, sometimes a little bit smaller. And this particular anklet, the order is for the smaller size. So the smaller size, when we bead it on from bead to bead, it should measure 8.5 inches. So let's take a look. And yeah, there we go. We're a little under 8.5, which is fine, because if we were to add another crystal and then another 3mm, we'd be over, which is also okay. But in this case, because we do include an extender chain, look at the length that extender chain comes. If you were to add the extender chain on here, it's going to take it to well over 10.5 inches. So it's okay if we come in a little under 8.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here and say this is where we need to be. And I think we're at the point where we can go ahead and close up our anklet. So in order to close up our anklet, the very first thing we're going to need is our crimp bead. Okay, oops. Well, let's get another one because I dropped that one. Where'd it go? There it went. Get it eventually. We're just going to need our little tiny crimp bead. And a crimp bead just gets strung on just like any other bead. And then we're also going to need a clasp. In our clasp, every single clasp we use on any anklet is always inspected first. We want to make sure that it's opening and closing with ease. And so you just kind of push down on that lever a little bit, and yes, you can see this is working perfectly fine. And we're going to go ahead and string that on. Now we kind of want both the crimp bead and the lobster claw about an inch away from the end, just like that. Then we're going to go ahead and fold over our string just like that. Okay, folding over the string. Let me bring it up a little bit closer so you guys can see. We're going to fold up our string. Then we're going to go ahead and get this crimp bead. I'm going to scoot it on down the string again and then restring it on the tail and the main line. Okay, up until we're about right there is about 1 millimeter away from the end of the loop. Then we're going to go ahead and take our flat nose pliers and we are going to press down on the crimp bead and crimp it flat. You see? There you go. It's crimped flat now. And then we're going to go ahead and bring our other beads over. And since I'm right-handed, I'm just going to flip it around a little bit and restring our other beads back on, both the tail and the main string, like that. Now some people ask, Leilani, why don't you just cut off the tail after you finish crimping down the bead? Well, I'm going to tell you why. If you do that, you will increase the chances that there will be a little string that's going to stick out from the crimp bead and itch your customer's ankles. Yes, it will stick out and then it will find itself rubbing against your customer's ankles, and that is not comfortable at all. So the best thing you can do is just leave a little tail and you hide it by restringing on other crystals to it. Okay, and so now let's go ahead and choo-choo train our way to bringing the other beads over. Okay, and then at this point is when we finally cut off from the roll. Remember, up until now it's been on the roll. Now we're going to finally cut from the roll, and you can see now this is how you save string. I leave about 3 to 4 inches, a little bit less, there we go, and cut. And now I'm going to repeat the same process as the clasp. I'm going to get a crimp bead, but instead of a clasp, I'm going to use my extender chain and my split ring. Now, just to, you know, let you guys know what a split ring is exactly what it sounds like. It is a ring that it's doubled up, so you could just split it down the middle. Do you see that? You could just split it down the middle like a keychain. And why do I decide to use these more than just a normal jump ring? Well, because if a jump ring opens up just a little tiny bit, your wire can come loose. Your anklet could come attached from your closure, and you don't want that because that's the first way you lose your anklet. So just for added security, I went ahead and said, hey, every single anklet we use, we need to have a split ring, because then we don't have to worry about split rings coming apart and you losing your anklet in the middle of the ocean. All right, so now let's just go ahead and string on our split ring. And just like the other one, we're going to bring its crimp bead around here to meet it 1 inch away from the end, and then we're going to fold over. Okay, now you want to make sure that your crimp bead is first before your split ring, and then you're going to take your crimp bead, move it down, and then refeed it back through again. So this is the only difference from the other end closure, is we cannot close an anklet like this with this big gap in the middle. Not very pretty. you're going to see a lot of dancing beads. But what we will do now is tighten up the string so that these beads will be abutted against your crimp. And let me show you how to do that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get your round nose pliers, okay? And you're going to want to feed one section of your round nose pliers to the loop and crimp down, okay? And then you're going to want to let go of that tail string that you're holding on to, and you're going to grasp it now with your 2 fingers. Slightly tilt your round nose pliers up, point your thumb down, release your round nose pliers, and now you pull your tail string, okay? And then clamp back down again. And now you can see that that crystal is now up against the crimp bead. And now you can pinch that tail again and pinch everything together. Let go of your round nose pliers. Get your flat nose pliers and crimp down. Oh, I made a mistake. Let me undo that. Danny, you're gonna have to edit this out. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and crimp this string up. Let me go ahead and move my tools out of the way. Now the first thing we're going to want to do is get our crimp bead. Let's go ahead and put our crimp bead on the string. Then we're going to want to get our split ring, and I use split rings because it's a more secure fit, or I should say a more secure closure of a ring, especially for anklets because they get more abuse because they're on the leg. Legs are always walking, right? And then you're going to want to fold over your string like so and refeed your crimp bead onto both the tail string and the main string, just like that. Okay? Now you're going to want to get a couple of beads that were on the main string and feed those on through too. Okay, just like that. And now you're pinching your tail string and your main string. At that point, you're going to want to get your round nose pliers. And with your round nose pliers, you're going to want to feed one side of your round nose pliers into that loop right there, just like that. Okay, and crimp down. You see, just like that. And then you're going to pinch the tail string just like so and pull. And by pulling, you were able to tighten up the beads in that gap that was there. Did you see that? Don't worry guys, I will be making a video that's going to go only over that part of the closure, which is something I see a lot of people have difficulties with, is that tightening up of the secondary end of any necklace, or in this case it's an anklet, but necklaces, bracelets, anklets, anything beaded on a string is going to need this type of closure. And so I'm going to make sure I do a video going over how to do this step by step and more slow-mo. All right, and so now that this has already been crimped down and done, you're going to want to get your flush cutters and get right against that bead and cut off the string. Be careful not to cut your main string. You cut your main string and here, go bye-bye anklet. But just make sure you at least get as close as possible to the bead, because again, we do not want itchy ankles. All right, and give me a minute guys. Look what happened in the middle of me closing up one end. Look what snuck out, the tail of the other side. We had covered it with this bead, but in the middle of me closing this side, looks like a little bit of this tail came out. So let's go ahead and get that cut off. Okay, I'm going to get it as flush as possible and cut that off. There we go. There we go. No itchy ankles. All right, just going to clean up a little bit. Little scraps everywhere. Oops. Okay, there we go. anklet is all done. Let's go ahead and get that closure. Take a look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I really hope the customer who bought this is so enamored with it like I am. Look at that sparkle. And so guys, if you are interested in purchasing this anklet already made, it is sold on Faire.com, Walmart.com, Amazon.com, and soon to be Overstock.com. And if you're interested in making it along with me, we do sell the kits on our website, www.bchic.com. Feel free to go ahead and browse our other selections, purchase this kit, and tune back in and build it with me. And guys, we are building our community here. We would love for you to like, share, and subscribe. Tick that notification bell so that way anytime I put on a new video, you will get notified that it is up and ready for your viewing. And as always, be chic, be happy, and be inspired. Love you. Bye.